Welcome to A Grief Observed. My name is Chaplain Kevin Weaver. I'll be your host today. You know, the holidays are among us and they can be difficult times, especially for those of us who have lost a loved one or have suffered some type of financial loss in our life or whatever it might be. I found that if we identify those losses, we talk about them, we find different ways to maybe celebrate or embrace those losses, that we make it through. I have with me today a very dear friend, Beverly and Ray McCall. Now, Beverly, I've known you for a real long time now, haven't I?
Yes.
Oh, it's been 20 years?
At least.
My goodness. Yeah. You know, I've only been on the mountain for just a little over 20 years, and I've known you most of that time. Before we get into the loss that we want to talk about, tell me just, in the audience that's watching, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from, Beverly?
I was born in Detroit, Michigan. I've lived on this mountain over 35 years. I used to work for home health, and then I took people in my home for about 10 years, and that's about it. I've raised 8 children. My goodness, I didn't realize you raised 8 children. Yeah, I've lost 3 now. I was going to say, over the course of time that I've known you, the 20 years, you've lost 3 children, and you've lost a couple of husbands, haven't you? Yes. And I was never going to get married again till I met him. Oh no, what happened? And how long have you and Ray been married? We'll be married 3 years in January. 3 years in January. Well, congratulations on 3 years. Ray,
it seems like 10.
It seems like 10. Well, welcome, Ray. Hey, real quick, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from, Ray?
I'm from Lindsay, Oklahoma. August the 16th, 1928 is when it all started. And it's, don't remember, but that's what my mama told me.
And you got to believe your mama, huh?
Yeah. So, and I was a civil engineer. I had a friend that was a surveyor. And he asked me if I wanted to get that kind of work, and I said yeah. So I went into civil engineering and made good money and bought property and just rocked on for over the years.
Well, and here you are now, all these years later, and you found Beverly. I remember the most recent loss in your life was Patty. Yes,
and She was special. She was 54, but in her mind she was 10. So she'll always be my little girl.
Well, Patty had a developmental disability.
Yes, she did.
Yeah. And what was her actual diagnosis?
Retardation.
Okay.
And she had been in a wheelchair for 14 years. And
as a matter of fact, that's how we met. Years ago, I worked for an agency called Aztec. I think that it's TLC now. And that's where we met because Patty used to come to the day program that we had. And I remember that she really was quite medically involved. And so you've overcome a lot of hurdles with her. And so all along the course of her life, I guess you could say that maybe you experienced a lot of losses.
Yes.
I mean, I know that you love Patty with all of your heart, and she was a very special child to you. Speak to that, Beverly.
She was my little girl and always will be, and now it's hard without her. How do I do Christmas? You know what I mean? It's going to be hard.
And that's what we want to talk about today. Here, take a tissue, Beverly. When did Patty die?
March.
Just this year?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember you were by her side nearly night and day as she was in the hospital.
They said she would pass away and have seizures because she had seizures since she was 13 years old, and she didn't. She looked up at us like she smiled, and she was gone.
You know, I do remember being called to the emergency department to pray with you guys, and we thought that she was going to die that day, and we were pretty much prepared for that. Now, she went on to live a couple of days later.
Yeah, about 5 days later. Yes.
In the process of that time, many people were able to rally by her bedside.
Yes.
And I remember there were times that she would regain some consciousness and reach out to those. It was a phenomenal experience, wouldn't you say?
Yes. Well, I had almost lost her about 12 times over the year, and I even prayed for her to go. She was so bad. She had been with hospice before. and he didn't want her, and he gave her back to me. But this time, it was her time to go.
Yeah. Raising a child with a developmental disability certainly has many challenges.
Yes.
The rewards are phenomenal. I mean, that goes without saying, because it is a special attachment that you have. And you just mentioned you didn't know how you're going to make it through this Christmas, and we're going to help you with that. We're here for you. But tell us about some of the Christmases that you had with Patty. I bet you they were pretty special.
Well, she's never asked for much. She's never, wanted much. And her favorite song used to be Rudolph the Red-Nosed. And she used to sing it, and she used to say, "Then one Froggy."
What, Froggy?
Yeah, she used to, and then she'd go yay and clap her hands, and everybody would laugh, and everybody loved her. I mean, I don't know of anybody that didn't like Patty. She was special.
That is a true statement. I worked with many people that came in and out of her life, from those working at Aztec to those working in the hospital to hospice. And she just pulled you in.
I know it.
She was a very, very special lady indeed. 54 years old, she was a woman. She was all grown up. But she certainly had, as you said, the mind of maybe a 10-year-old. And the simplicity, and she was easy to please, and she brought a lot of love to those around. And I recall gathering around her bedside. It was easy to forget about the cares of life.
Yes.
When we were with somebody that was so simple in the sense of, well, as you said, not demanding much. Do you have a special memory, a special holiday?
Oh, yes.
Give us one of them.
Yeah.
She'll always be special. I mean.
But do you have a special memory?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, well, just of being with her and going to see her, because I had her home as much as I could. And then she was at the Meadows for the last 12 years, and just going in and seeing her and having her, "Hi, Mama," and happy to see me. And then she had a temper, and you'd take her something. Sometimes she'd just throw it across the room. I don't want that. I mean, she was just, you never knew how to take her.
So she found ways to express herself. Well, and in that, she gained as much independence as she could. She certainly had individuality. And that all has to do with a parent who would say, "You know what? I can't do this by myself. I need people around me that will help me," and that's the beauty of a community like ours, that people do rally.
Yes.
Beverly, I'm kind of throwing this at you and surprising you maybe a little bit with it, but how are you going to make it through? What are you going to do this Christmas without Patty?
I don't know. Just spend time with my husband, and what children I have left. I only have, I have 2 children here. And my daughter-in-law, and then I have my sister and her family, and she's got a retarded child. She lives in Peoria, and that's about it.
So what about any special tradition or event that you might involve yourself with?
I doubt it. I mean, it's just too hard.
Well, then let me encourage you. Of course, the holidays, Thanksgiving and all that's involved, whether it be Christmas or Hanukkah, the different ways that people find to celebrate, they have their own unique little rituals, traditions. What maybe was, and it might have been something very simple, but what it was that you and Patty did maybe over and over and over, or religiously, to go through the holidays together? Was it an event?
I don't know. I don't know yet.
No, was there something in your past that you did together?
I don't know.
Did you share a favorite goodie together? Did she like?
Oh, she loved to go out and eat. We went out to eat quite a lot.
There you go.
She loved that. She loved that. And she loved every little thing. Whenever we'd go visit her, we'd take her a treat, and that. And we'd meet sometime, because she couldn't go in the car. She had to be in a van, a high-lift van, because of her wheelchair. We'd meet at restaurants, and eat, go out and eat. She loved to go out and eat. That was her favorite thing.
So you've identified a tradition. Remember, traditions don't have to be over the top, lights and glitter and
Just
a
simple
huge event.
things.
Simple.
That's what
so
she liked.
recreate that. You and Ray and your family go to that special place that Patty liked to go. Light a candle in her honor if the restaurant or the establishment wouldn't allow. Maybe exchange gifts there. The point I'm making is create an environment or an atmosphere where that spirit of Patty is allowed to be with you guys. The first couple of times, it'll be hard. There'll be a lot of tears of sadness and sorrow, lamenting over her loss. But as you continue in that practice, those tears of sorrow will turn into tears of joy.
Yes.
I promise you. So do that. Here's your assignment for the holidays.
Okay.
Gather as many family, friends, people that were close to Patty. I'd love to come. And let's find a place and go celebrate the holiday together and honor Patty. Now, we've got just a couple of minutes left. Ray?
Yeah.
You're quite the musician, I understand.
Well, I made myself that. I played drums whenever I was young at the Oxbow Inn in Payson, Arizona.
Well, we don't have room for drums here. You got anything with you today you can play?
Well, I got a whistle.
You got a whistle?
Harmonica.
Is that what they call that?
Yeah. So, you want me to play it?
Play us something special.
All right.
Amazing Grace.
We play that in memory of Patty. Every time you play Amazing Grace, every time you sing Amazing Grace, Patty's going to come to the forefront. Beverly, Ray, thanks for sharing. We're going to take a break and we'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back. With me again is Beverly McCall, and joining us is Cindy Wade. But we met at a Braving the Holidays grief support group that I did. And you guys met each other there. And Cindy, you were there, and you told the most phenomenal story. Let's just jump right into it. If you don't mind, a couple of weeks ago, you called me.
Yes.
You were needing somebody to talk to.
Yes.
You were feeling kind of at your wit's end. Your husband had died. How long ago did he die?
It was July 16th.
Yeah, so not terribly long ago.
So
if you don't mind, and sharing with the folks that are viewing today, tell us that story.
Well, I did have what I call a meltdown, and I called Kevin, and my husband's ashes were cremated, or he was cremated, his buddy was cremated, and he did not want to do any special celebration, anything like that. It was just he and I, almost together 32 years.
Wow.
And it's like I just brought him home and put him on the bookshelf, as I told you. And you asked me, did I do a ceremony? Had I planned on doing a ceremony? My answer was no, because I hadn't given it any thought, because it wasn't what he was looking for.
Right.
And you advised me that maybe it was something I needed to do for myself.
Yeah, and let me interject if I might, and with all due respect, and I've said this at bedsides with families and the patient who is dying, they'll tend to pipe up, I don't want anything special, I don't want any rituals, I don't want any ceremonies, and I'll correct them, and I'll remind them with all due respect, sir or ma'am, that time, you're not going to be there.
Right.
And that's why I felt it was important, and again, we never wanted to disrespect our loved ones who have gone on before us. But these rituals and these times, there's something that we need to do so that together or as an individual, we can get through this process.
Right.
And so go on and share with us what
So
happened.
after you suggested that to me, I called a girlfriend of mine and said, you know, I talked to Chaplain Kevin, and I said, I'm sitting here, I'm writing a letter to my husband. It's like, and I poured my heart and soul, many tears, all into this letter to him. And I said, you know, he thinks maybe I need to do some type of a ceremony, memorial or something for Troy. And I asked her, I said, would you join me? Would you go with me on this walk? And Troy had a special place not far from our home that he being part Apache Indian, is like he was really in tune with nature. And once he discovered this place, he came to me, he says, come, I want to show you something special.
So he found a sacred place.
He found a place. So my friend said, yes, I'll go with you. And this past Sunday, a week ago, when I got off from work, I decided, well, you know, it's like I'm going to start moving forward. And you said, take that leap, you know, that step, walk out there, you know. And it's like I took some of my husband's ashes and scattered them around our property. And I was talking to him and just kind of walking around. The breeze was blowing, and it's like sun was warm. And I sit down in one of our lawn chairs, and a monarch butterfly came and sat down in the tree in front of me. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, that's really cool. It's a butterfly, and orange is my favorite color. Monarchs, of course, are orange. And I thought to myself, it was kind of odd to see a butterfly, because it's been cold out in our area. You know, it's like 34 at night. It's kind of strange to have a butterfly show up. It sit there, well, I sit there for like 30 minutes. It was there when I got up and walked into the house. So I'm like, okay. So last Monday, a week ago today, my friend, she says, are you really sure you're ready to take that walk? You know, she said, you scattered ashes yesterday. Do you really want to go? And I was like, yeah, I need to do this. And she's like, well, you know, and it's like, I kind of got the impression she really didn't want to, that she has family and, you know, her own thing that she needed to take care of. And I was like, it's like, okay, you know, I'll do this. It's okay. I still need to do it. And of course, you know, my feelings were hurt. And all that day, it's like I had this thought in my head that my husband for 32 years tried to get across to me, that I needed to take care of myself.
Absolutely.
I needed to be self-reliant.
Yes.
It's like I couldn't depend on anybody else to do things for me. So on my way home from work, I decided, all right, I get off work, I'm going home, putting my boots on, packing a backpack, I'm taking this walk.
You're going to go to that sacred place.
I'm going to that place.
Yep.
And I did. It's about 1.5 miles or so from my house. So, and it's rocks. And it's like I climbed the rocks. It's a flat plateau up on the top. I took pictures. It's a beautiful view. It's like 360 degrees all the way around. And I sat down and I unpacked my backpack, took out my little container of Troy's ashes. I started reading the letter that I had written to him, and I noticed that as I was reading, my voice got stronger, got louder, and it's like I was just out there talking and scattering ashes. And when I was done reading my letter, it's like I spent some more time just soul, you know, talking to Troy and talking to God. And it's like, okay, you know, storm clouds are starting to come in. It's like, I need to go home. you know. So as I packed up and I'm climbing down off the rocks, a white butterfly
Wow.
crosses my pathway.
Again.
And again, second butterfly 2 days in a row. And I'm like, there's just something strange about this. I got up Tuesday morning. I looked up on the internet, what is the symbol? What does butterflies mean? Why am I seeing butterflies? And the first thing that I saw, the message was it was souls passing away.
Amazing.
And it's like transformation,
Wow.
change, you know.
So something happened.
A new
in
beginning.
That place.
Yeah.
You know, Cindy, what a beautiful story. You took that step of faith. You created perhaps a ritual. I would encourage you to go back there each year.
Yeah.
And I dare say that butterfly or some new experience will come to you then and there. And that's the importance, folks, of creating those moments or going to those places, because as we take those steps, we're ultimately met with the very ingredient that we need to add to the recipe of recovery. What I wanted us to do today, and why I asked Beverly to stay, we're going to participate in a little ritual together. We're going to light candles in honor of our loved ones. And for those watching, if you'd like a copy of the ceremony that we're using, I'll give you the address at the end of the show where you can write and get it. I find that the holidays can be a time for opening gifts of special memories. And in this celebration, we're going to offer our gifts to our family. And so what I want you to do, and today we're just going to be that family. I ask for those of you who are watching, gather family, gather friends, and recreate this moment. As Cindy just told us, if you'll create that moment, there's no telling what will meet you. Yeah. So as we begin, I've given the girls each an assignment. Yeah. So you got your papers and your assignments there, ladies?
I didn't bring that one.
You can share with Beverly, okay? I'm going to begin by lighting these candles. We'll light one on either end and one in the middle, just as a reference point. We have 4 candles on either side. And of course, we know the flame represents life. We couldn't live without it, could we?
Right.
And we find it difficult to live without our loved ones. Though they're gone from us physically, they don't have to be gone from us spiritually. I like, Cindy, what you kept saying. I went to that place.
Yeah.
And so today, we're going to create a place for us. So Beverly, in a minute you'll read, as we light these 4 candles in honor of our loved ones, in honor of your loved ones. We light one for grief. We light one for courage. We light one for our memories. And we light one for love. Beverly, you go ahead.
The light of the second candle represents our courage to comfort our sorrow, to comfort each other, to change our lives.
Cindy?
This third candle is a light to all of our memories of our loved ones, to the times we laughed, the times we cried, the times we were angry with each other, the silly things we did, the caring and the joy our loved ones gave us.
Mm-hmm.
The fourth candle is a light of our love. As we enter this holiday season, day by day we cherish the special place in our heart that will always be received. For Patty, we give thanks for the gift her life brought to each of us. We will love her always.
Last one.
That was the last one. We missed number 1.
Well, do number 1. Go ahead.
The light of this first candle represents our grief. The pain of our loss is intense, but it reminds us of the death of our love for our loved ones.
So we messed up on the script, but you know, there's no script in life, is there?
No.
Again, we create this moment just to share and to remember. You know, I cannot thank you both enough for being here. Of course, Ray was with us and how beautifully he played Amazing Grace. Remember,
awesome.
girls, that we're here for you. Anything we can do, we're here for you. For those of you who tuned in today, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking just a few moments and sharing this sacred time with us. If you'd like a copy of the ceremony that we participated in today, you can write to me at P.O. Box 1897, Sholo 85902. That's Chaplain Kevin Weaver at P.O. Box 1897. I'll get you a copy of that. Gather your family, gather your friends. Find that place where you can find strength, where you can find hope, and where you can find ultimate healing so that you can, together with them, brave the holidays. This has been A Grief Observed. I thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.